Good evening, one and all. We welcome you all to the international webinar series on holistic health, well-being, and sustainable development 2025, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 77 years of independence and United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2030 and Viksit Bharat at 2047. As part of awareness and campaigns in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute Center for Art, Sciences and Wellbeing. Before we start our sessions, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः.
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue with today's commemorations. Today, we are celebrating International Day for Dialogue Among Civilizations every year on 10th June with the theme, The Imperative of Dialogue Among Civilizations in a Changing World. As the world grapples with multiple interconnected crises such as widening gaps in peace, development, trust, and governance, humanity stands at a historic crossroads, facing increasingly instability and transformation. The urgent need for solidarity, dialogue, and cooperation has never been more evident. Dialogue among civilizations remains the most effective way to eliminate discrimination and prejudice, foster mutual understanding and trust, and strengthen relationships among nations and reinforce global solidarity. Dialogue among civilizations not only fosters awareness and appreciation of the universal values shared by humankind, but also promote peaceful coexistence based on the mutual respect. It serves as a bridge to find common ground in addressing the pressing challenges of our time, ultimately contributing to world peace, human welfare, development, and progress. The International Day of Dialogue among Civilizations provides an opportunity to raise awareness of the value of the diversity of civilizations and promoting dialogue and mutual respect and global solidarity, fostering a more harmonious and interconnected world. The notion of civilization is not easy to define and can be subject to misinterpretation. However, the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, in short known as UNESCO, regards as it is a universal, plural, and non-hierarchical reality, recognizing that civilizations are inherently shaped by intercultural dynamics while retaining their unique identities. On 7 June 2024, the General Assembly adopted Resolution 78 by 286 declaring 10th June as the International Day for Dialogue among Civilizations. Proposed by China and co-sponsored by over 80 countries, the resolution emphasizes that all civilizational achievements constitute the collective heritage of the humankind. It underscores the importance of respecting civilizational diversity and highlights the crucial role of dialogue in maintaining global peace, advancing shared development, enhancing human well-being, and achieving collective progress. The resolution acknowledges the essential role of dialogue in fostering awareness and understanding of universal values as outlined in the UN Charter and the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, reaffirm that civilizational achievements as per humanity's shared heritage. So international conflicts cannot be sole consequences of religion, culture, or civilizations. It must be stated bluntly. There is no clash of civilizations. There is a clash of interest and clash of ignorance. Today is also commemorated as International or EHS Day, which is observed on June 10th, is an attempt to raise awareness about electromagnetic hypersensitivity, EHS syndrome. There has been very little research done into syndrome symptoms and effects, and so it is not classified as a medically diagnosable condition. But many international doctors and scientists recognize the debilitating effects this illness can have on some people. The syndrome is born out of increased sensitivity to the electrical environment, which can include mobile devices, Wi-Fi, and other electronics. This sensitivity can only get worse as we incorporate more and more electronic devices into our lives. EHD was founded by the company Defender Shield in 2020 to raise awareness more about this little known illness that is likely to keep rising as we increase our dependence on electronic devices. Because of low awareness, this condition can go often undiagnosed. People are left wondering for years what the cause of their symptoms could be. As few have even heard of EHS, some studies have even shown that 1 in 5 people may have EHS, and it is fast becoming clear that technology has many unwanted ill effects on people's lives. While its negative effects on mental health are well recorded, the physical aspect has been researched much. The social isolation many of us experience as a result of our dependence on these devices is also associated with depression, anxiety, sleep disorders, and it also adversely affected ADHD and learning disabilities. Today is also commemorated as National Ballpoint Pen Day in US, which is celebrated every year on June 10th in this rather fun and whimsical day. This day encourages us to honor this humble product that is found everywhere in our homes, schools, art studios, offices, etc. Almost everyone has used a ballpoint pen once in their life, and for many, it holds a special place in their pen holder. National Ballpoint Day also acknowledges this universal writing utensils, and it also marks the day when the patent for it was filed. Before the ballpoint pen came into the world, people used fountain pen or pencil to write. Created to provide an alternative to quill and fountain pens, now the ballpoint pen dominates the pen market. But it is also becoming a major concern because of its use and through nature. A lot of waste is generated, and generally these ballpoint pens are made of plastic, and there is a huge plastic pollution and wastages that is created. So try to avoid using ballpoint pen and try to use fountain pens where these pens can be reusable, and instead of refills where they are just for single use, you can use ink to refill and use as many times as you want. So today is also commemorated as National Bedbug Prevention Day, which is observed every year on June 10th. And so rightly, who would have thought something as tiny as bedbug would cause so many problems for human beings? What was that even though they cause so much of grief, we can't even see them. No wonder these pests are among the most common problems experienced by people across the world. And the worst part is that almost impossible to get rid of on your own. No matter how hard you try, they keep coming back. So this day was founded by Donson Pest Control in 2019 to recognize their long history of providing treatment for bedbug infestations. Unfortunately, we all had our fair share of traumatic bug experiences. Reports of bedbug infestations have gone through the roof in recent years. As travel becomes easier, bedbugs have become a greater problem than ever before. These pests were also a serious problem at US military bases during the World War II. The problem was solved by fumigation through a dangerous procedure using Zyklon discoid DDT, which was later, but bedbugs have since become mostly resistant to it. The fall in bedbug populations in the 20th century has often credited to the creation of potent pesticides. Today is also commemorated as Abolition Day in Guyana on June 10th. This day commemorates the abolition of slavery in the country. However, the observation is not only limited to Guyana. but also other nations in the Caribbean that were once colonized by the Europeans. The Europeans were notorious for enslaving the natives and subjecting them to unspeakable horrors. On Abolition Day, citizens also try to confront their past. The day may also be celebrated by those who were subjected to serfdom or other forms of involuntary servitude. Abolition Day is a reminder for humanity's cruel history that continues till date. Today is also commemorated as National Black Cow Day, which is observed every year on June 10th, the perfect time to celebrate a cold and refreshing beverage when temperatures start getting warmer. Many people also know the black cow as the humble root beer float or ice cream soda. Some people even substitute vanilla ice cream with chocolate ice cream, making it brown cow. A black cow is a beverage made with root beer and vanilla ice cream, which is relished by people of all age groups. Today is also commemorated as National Call You a Doctor Day in US. Is observed on the second day, Tuesday of June on June 10th this year to remind and encourage women to schedule their yearly Well Women exam. The Well Women exam is an exam for women to review their reproductive health. The reason why this day is observed midway through the year is that many women delay routine care. They place other priorities before their health, like work, family, and other obligations. In this way, they overlook the fact that a single phone call can save their lives. Bright Pink, the NGO that founded Call Your Doctor Day, was founded by Linda Evaner. She was the youngest woman in US to undergo a double mastectomy in 2007, finally on June 21st, 2016. Bright Pink announced National Call Your Doctor Day to encourage women to schedule their yearly Well Women exam. Today is also commemorated as National Forklift Safety Day on June 10th in US, which is observed on second Tuesday in June each year, June 10th. So that day is an initiative by the Industrial Truck Association. And as we know that between 35,000 and 62,000 injuries every year involve forklifts. So several cases involved bystanders or pedestrians. The Occupational Safety and Health Administration, OSHA, estimates that over 70% of these accidents were preventable. National Forklift Safety Day is committed to the safety of those who manufacture, operate, and work around forklifts, an opportunity to highlight the importance of operator training and pedestrian awareness. Stakeholders and industry experts come together on this day to share resources on the best safety while using the indispensable equipment. Today is also commemorated as National Herbs and Spices Day in US every year and celebrates the world of diversity when it comes to these often teensy flavoring agents, which nevertheless pack a punch. Since herbs and spices are cooking essentials, it is therefore makes complete sense that they are given a day of recognition for their contribution to mankind and its culinary journeys thus far. The great thing about many herbs is that they can be freshly grown in your own garden patch or your kitchen sill, and what can be better than eating your homegrown produce? Today is also commemorated as National Iced Tea Day in US. Today is also commemorated as Portugal Day in Portugal, which is an official national holiday of Portugal and is observed on June 10th each year. In Portugal, this day is usually called as Dia de Portugal, de Camões e das Comidas Português, which translates to Day of Portugal Communes and the Portugal communities. The day is intended to remember the death of Luis de Camões, who is recognized as the country's greatest national icon. He is most known for his poem, which narrates the story of Portuguese explorations in the 15th century and has since been accepted as a national poem in Portugal. However, because his birth date is uncertain, his death date, June 10, 1580, is commemorated as Portugal's National Day. As much as he came to represent Portuguese nationalism, Camus died during the succession crisis, and that led to Philip II of Spain taking Portugal throne in 1580. However, the kingdom recovered its independence on December 1st, 1640, when the Spanish were expelled during the Portuguese Restoration War, and John of Bragança was crowned King John IV of Portugal. Today is also commemorated as Posan Festival in Sri Lanka, which will be celebrated on June 10th. The day, also known as Posan Festival, is a public holiday in Sri Lanka. It falls on full moon day of Posan, which is 7th month of Sinhalese calendar. This day depends on the natural occurrences and its date varies, although it is commonly celebrated in June. It is a highly religious event that commemorates the introduction of Buddhism to Sri Lanka. Buddhists celebrate the day with the music, dancing, and relating stories by giving away food and tea. Posan Day is also second only in importance to Vesak in Sri Lanka. So Posan Festival marks the introduction of Buddhism to Sri Lanka by a Buddhist monk called Arahat Mahinda in 236 BC, one of the central points of the event of a Buddhist monastery on the mountain Maintail, where Mahinda converted the king of Sri Lanka. His conversion to Buddhism led to the construction of many Buddhist sites and learning centers around the capital. It helped form an official connection between the Buddhists and Sri Lanka. The relationship contributed to the spread of Buddhism on the island, but resulted in ethnic tensions and hostilities, which developed into a major civil war in 1980. The conflict lasted for over 20 years, resulting in many casualties on both sides. Today is also commemorated as Slavery Abolition Day in French Guiana. Marks the Slavery Abolition Day on June 10th every year. It is a public holiday and is also recognized as Emancipation Day in some nations. This day raises awareness of the atrocities of the slave trade era and serves as a reminder of the brutality suffered by enslaved Africans and its consequences. This day was first observed in 2012, even though the historical event dates back to abolition of slavery in the colony in 1848. It is the time of sober reflection and a celebration of the prevalence of truth and freedom for all men. Today is also commemorated as Superman Week from June 10th to 13th. It is usually a very busy week for both the superhero, Superman, and the ordinary man behind the cape, who is Clark Kent. The superhero will be busy posing for photographs and granting interviews and attending meetings, while the ordinary man, Kent, will be busy in other days. So he'll be busy assisting Lois Lane and with letters and other preparations for the testimonial meal at celebration. Superman might need to be two people and not just two characters if he wants to survive this week. So with this, we shall end today's commemorations. Thank you everyone for joining us. And we request everyone to quickly fill up the feedback form, which has been raised in the form of polls. And today we have a session on financial literacy at 7 o'clock. We request everyone to join again at 7 o'clock for the meeting, for the national webinar. And a feedback form will also be shared for yesterday's and today's national webinar. We request everyone to fill the feedback form to get your certificate. So we request you to quickly fill up the feedback form. And we will be closing this meeting and again starting it in another 5 minutes for the national webinar. So see you all tomorrow. Take care. Good night. For the series, and join us in another 10 minutes for the national webinar with the same joining link.